We live in uncertain times, with conflicts raging in our world and terrorism, cyber attacks and disinformation campaigns being used to weaken and influence us. The security situation is very serious. If we want to survive, we all need to strengthen our resilience to cope with various crises and eventually even face nuclear war. According to the Federation of American Scientists, Russia has 4 380 usable nuclear warheads and another 700s in a state of war readiness. This number is similar to the total by NATO members. At the same time, China is currently establishing more land-based missile base with about 300 silos, as well as expanding its road, mobile intercontinental ballistic missile force. Some report also pointed out that China's bombers has further developed and China's nuclear weapons expansion to increase its number of warheads from the 500 to at least 1,000 before 2030. In North Korea, most of the new nuclear warheads are aimed at attacking the United States mainland. Together with China, Russia help. They are also developing low-yield nuclear warheads to threaten the U.S. troops stationed in Japan and South Korea in nearby with European allies. Although China declares no first use, which means Xi Jinping will not use nuclear weapons to attack his enemies first, the Chinese government is building as many as 1 in 10 missile silos in Hamian Yumen, Xinji. This intensive deployment does not inconsistent with its declared defensive stance. Because these densely silos are difficult to survive in the face of our first wave of nuclear counterattacks. This means that China may be inclined to launch nuclear weapons in advance to ensure its counterattack capability when facing the threat of attack. The Chinese rocket force had launched a Dongfeng 41 ICBM into the Pacific Ocean in September 2024. The Dongfeng 41 has a range of 15,000 kilometers. It can launch from China to reach all of Europe or North America. It uses solid fuel and has the ability to carry multiple independently targeted warheads, AMIR-Va. The missiles are installed in the launch tube and can be maneuvered by road or rail. It is difficult for the United States to lock on and attack first. Therefore, if you are in a big city, such as New York, Los Angeles, Tokyo, Seoul, or even Taipei, and a nuclear bomb with greater power than Hiroshima is about to explode, what should you do to survive? First, please stay calm. The most important thing is to find a good shelter, reduce the amount of radiation exposure as much as possible, and then wait quietly for rescue. A good shelter should be made of bricks or cement. If you hide in the lower basement of a 5-story brick house, you will be exposed to only 1/20th of the amount of outdoor radiation. If you were on the first floor, you would be exposed to half the amount of outdoor radiation. Based on the Hiroshima and Nagasaki, 99% of people within 500 meters from the zero of the explosion will die, and 90% of people within 500 meters to 1,000 meters will die. Although the mortality rate is higher the closer you are to the site of the bomb, there are exceptions. Izo Namura, he was in the basement 170 meters away. The other, Noboko Kazo, is located in the Hiroshima bank 300 meters away. Because the building, they are survived. When a nuclear attack warning is issued, residents in affected areas have only 12 to 20 minutes to react. Here's what to do depending on your shelter options. If you are near or inside a solid shelter, stay there. Do not leave until authorities or rescue teams direct you to safer locations. If your current shelter is weak but a stronger building is within a 5-minute reach, move quickly to that location. What if solid buildings are 15 minutes away? Your best course of action is to remain in your current shelter. 30 minutes after impact, radiation levels drop slightly within the first half hour. Use this window to seek a sturdier shelter if one is accessible. After a nuclear explosion, a dark, heavy rain known as black rain can fall. This rain is highly radioactive, composed of carbon, silicon, iron, and other particles from the bomb's fallout. In English, this phenomenon is called radioactive fallout. When a nuclear bomb detonates, it creates a mushroom cloud, type of artificial cumulonimbus cloud. Moon-like natural clouds which take about an hour to form rain. These clouds reach altitudes of 15,000 meters within just 10 minutes. The resulting rain is intense, averaging 120 miles, and carries dangerous radioactive materials. After a nuclear explosion, extreme heat causes intense thirst, leading many survivors, such as those from Hiroshima, to drink the so-called black rain. Unfortunately, this rain is heavily contaminated with radioactive particles. Direct contact or ingestion can cause severe secondary radiation exposure. Symptoms of acute radiation sickness: hair loss, severe gum bleeding, vomiting, hematopoietic dysfunction, liver damage, and increased risk of various cancers. Potassium iodide tablets protect the thyroid from radioactive iodine, but offer no defense against other radioactive elements. Therefore, avoid consuming contaminated food or water and seek shelter immediately. If you survive the critical first 72 hours, congratulations. The real challenge begins understanding the situation and deciding where to go. In the aftermath of a nuclear attack, societal collapse is likely, and traditional communication networks will be disabled due to electromagnetic pulses, EMPs. Stockpile at least 3 days' worth of non-perishable food and water. Accept the harsh reality: survival often means witnessing significant loss. AM's amplitude modulation signals can penetrate buildings, mountains, and even reflect off the atmosphere to cover vast distances. The US and China mandate that new vehicles include AM radios, recognizing their reliability in emergencies. In a disaster, an AM radio might be your only source of critical information and rescue updates. Ensure you have a battery-operated AM radio in your emergency kit. Stay informed, stay prepared, and prioritize your safety. In extreme situations where real-time information is unavailable, highways can become crucial lifelines. Originally designed with multi-purpose functionality, highways in many countries can facilitate large-scale urban evacuations. Their wide, flat lanes can even serve as emergency runways for transport aircraft, while central dividers and adjacent grasslands provide potential landing zones for helicopters. The U.S. federal government has contingency measures under Special Access Programs, SAPs. These highly classified plans focus on rescuing key government officials in the event of a nuclear attack to maintain the continuity of operations plan. This includes secure nuclear shelters and mobile, radiation-resistant bunkers. These bunkers, essentially fortified containers lined with lead for radiation protection, serve as safe havens from nuclear fallout and other threats. Equipped with medical facilities for trade treatment and resource distribution, they stockpile food, water, and medicine. Military personnel ensure the security of these shelters. Outside, survival will be brutal. A world filled with radiation poisoning, disease, and malnutrition will resemble a nightmarish version of prehistoric times. With society in ruins and law enforcement absent, Survival may feel like a fate worse than death. To reach safety, preparation is key. Remember, never surrender. Maintain your resolve. Store water and electrolytes. Stay indoors as much as possible. Prepare self-defense measures, but uphold your sense of morality. In the end, survival is about resilience and unity. Stay strong, and good luck.